Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive on something a little different. Today it's all about uric acid stones.
Oh, yeah, those sneaky little things.
I've got some great info here from the National Kidney Foundation. So think of this as your one-stop shop to figure out what they are, what causes them, and what you can actually do about them.
Yeah, because those uric acid stones, they can really catch you off guard, you know.
For sure. So before we get into all that, let's break it down. What exactly are uric acid stones?
Well, basically, they're a type of kidney stone. They form when certain chemicals in your urine get too concentrated and they crystallize. It's kind of like, when you leave sugar in water and it starts to form those hard bits at the bottom?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like that, except instead of sugar, it's uric acid.
Okay, that makes sense. But I've always heard that kidney stones are all about not drinking enough water. Is that the whole story with uric acid stones too?
It's definitely a big part of it. You got to stay hydrated, keep things flowing smoothly. But there's more to it than just water. Uric acid, it's a byproduct of breaking down substances called purines.
Purines, okay.
You find those in certain foods.
Like what? Spill the beans. What kind of foods are we talking about?
Well, things like red meat, organ meats, and some seafoods are pretty high in purines. And if you're prone to making more uric acid, or maybe your body doesn't get rid of it as well, you might be more likely to get these stones, even if you're eating pretty healthy.
So it's a combo of what you eat and your genes, basically.
Exactly.
You mentioned genes, so does that mean this whole uric acid stone thing runs in families?
It absolutely can.
Yeah.
And actually, if you've got a family history of gout, you might be more susceptible to uric acid stones, too.
Oh, interesting.
Gout is where uric acid crystals build up in your joints. Causes pain, inflammation, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild how these two conditions are linked by, well, too much uric acid.
Huh. I never made that connection before. So I guess if you've got a family history of gout, or kidney stones for that matter, it's even more important to be proactive, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about what we can actually DO to prevent these things from forming in the first place.
All right, so first things first.
What's the first line of defense?
I bet you can guess this one. Hydration. But there's a little twist to it. Instead of just going by that general 2 liters a day thing, think about the color of your urine.
Okay, now I'm curious. What does the color of my pee have to do with kidney stones?
Well, if it's pale yellow or clear, that's a good sign. It means you're well hydrated, flushing everything out. But if it's darker, kind of like apple juice, that's your cue to drink more. Of course, always best to talk to your doctor, especially if you've got other health things going on.
That's such a good tip. Definitely going to be paying more attention to that from now on. But it's not just about water, is it? What about diet?
Absolutely. Diet is huge EE. We got to talk about what to eat and what to avoid to keep those uric acid levels in check.
Okay, so back to those high purine foods we were talking about.
Right. But here's a question for you. Do you know why purines are such a big deal when it comes to uric acid stones?
I'm not sure I do. I know they break down into uric acid, but beyond that, I'm a little fuzzy on the details.
Well, when those purines break down, not only do they boost uric acid levels, but they can also make your urine more acidic.
Oh.
And that acidic environment, well, it's like party central for uric acid crystals.
Yeah.
They love to form and clump together in that kind of environment.
Okay, so it's a double whammy. More uric acid and a more acidic playing field for those crystals to hang out in.
Exactly.
So cutting back on red meat, organ meats, some seafood, that's all got to be on the list then.
You got it. And it's not just about what to avoid. It's about adding in those foods that can make your urine less acidic.
Yeah.
Some of them can even help stop those stones from forming in the first place.
Oh, come on, spill it. What are these magic foods you're talking about?
Well, citrate's a key player here. Remember we talked about that earlier?
Yeah.
It's naturally found in a bunch of fruits and veggies, and it's got this amazing ability to bind to calcium in your urine. So that calcium doesn't go forming those pesky calcium oxalate stones. But here's the thing. Citrate also helps increase your urine's pH, making it less acidic. And you know what that means.
Less hospitable for those uric acid stones.
Bingo. You got it.
Okay, I'm sold. But fruits and veggies, that's a pretty broad category. Can I just load up on oranges and lemons and call it a day?
Well, while citrus fruits are definitely good sources of citrate, you might need to eat a latte to make a big difference. And you got to think about the sugar content, especially if you're drinking lots of juice. But don't worry, there are other delicious ways to get your citrate fix.
All right, I'm listening. Give me the rundown.